All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 12. It is time for another One Piece read-through. So let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to my full read-through series of me going through One Piece one volume at a time. We are going to be going through volume 13 of the series, titled It's All Right. So, just to give you, well, yeah, it's all right, because the manga will give us a little bit of a synopsis as we get into it. So, the sooner I get through this, the sooner I can prepare to play more Tears of the Kingdom, because I am looking forward to playing Tears of the Kingdom with you guys. We're going to focus on getting our hands on the Great Fairies, because I need them all in order to upgrade my gear. Good to see you, Kohagen. Good to see you, Psycho. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it, because Tears of the Kingdom is going to be fun! So, let's get started with the synopsis. Oh, wow. So we don't get the usual synopsis that we always do. I think they changed it up. Is this the volume where they change up how synopses are going? Because beforehand it would be like, it all started with a boy who wanted to become the greatest pirate in history. It doesn't have that. It just has the whole synopsis about what's about to happen right now. Volume 13, The Story of One Piece, Volume 13. I couldn't even say it. My apologies. Let's do this again. The Story of One Piece, Volume 13. Luffy and his friends sail up a river to the top of a mountain to enter the Grand Line. A huge whale appears before them and swallows them whole. After making a quick escape, they learn of the whale's sad story and how it has been waiting for many years for a ship of sailors that will never return. Impressed by the whale's undying loyalty, Luffy challenges it to a duel in order to give it a new goal. As he leaves, he tells the whale to wait for his return to finish the fight. Next stop on the crew's voyage is Whisky Peak, where they are welcomed heartily and end up in a drunken stupor. But as night sets in, the ominous air thickens. Yes, this town is a den of bounty hunters belonging to a criminal organization known as Baroque Works. Zoro is the only one who has discovered the truth, and he must fight the cadre of villains by himself. So, this page was almost sticking together. We're going to be going through chapters 109 all the way to 117. Chapters 109, A Question of Duty. Kobe and Helmeppel's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 22. We're so useless. After seeing all the things after experiencing everything they went through, both Helmeppo and Kobe see themselves as completely useless. So it should be interesting to see where this cover story goes from here. But we cut back to Zoro, who's facing down Mr. 9, Mr. 8, and Miss Wednesday. Because Zoro was pretty much the only one who was awake, and he's taken on all of these bounty hunters on his own as the rest of the crew sleeps in, because, they're knocked out. How disgraceful. Losing to a lone pirate swordsman after the boss left the town in our... Oh, wait, this is Mr. 9. How disgraceful. Losing to a lone pirate swordsman after the boss left the town in our care. And then Igarappoi. This means we failed him. And then Igarappoi starts playing his saxophone, and Zoro looks and he goes, Igarapop, Igarappa. So, see, here's the thing. This character had an attack in the 4Kids dub of One Piece where he goes, Igarapapa. But this is not that same attack, though. Igarappa! And he shoots at Zoro with this saxophone. It's a saxophone gun. Ready, Miss Wednesday. Ready, Mr. 9. As it cuts to Mr. 9, who's jumping up the building where Zoro was. Come, Karoo! Ah! And it's a big... It looks like it's a big duck. Don't just wag your tail. Move it! Karoo, the Ultra Spot Bill. That's what he is. He's basically, if you've ever wanted to get a comparison about what Karoo is, a chocobo would be a pretty nice comparison. Whereas Karoo is basically like a big old duck. Chocobos are basically like big chicken birds, I want to say that. All right, show him the powers that put a panthers to shame. Ah! Hey, who told you to sit? And then Miss Wednesday hits Karoo in the back of the head because Karoo isn't listening. What is that? I wouldn't turn your back if I were you. Can you keep up with my acrobatics? And it cuts to Mr. Nine, who starts cartwheeling down the building. Hot-blooded bat of guts! And he's clashing with Zoro using metallic bats. Haha, this is a metal bat. Careful now, don't nick your swords. And then Zoro isn't moving. And then Mr. Nine is just laughing behind him. Huh? What's wrong? Too scared to move? And before Zoro can do anything, he's directly in front of Mr. Nine, and Mr. Nine barely has enough time, just barely manages to dodge backwards because Zoro just tried to stab him. And then Mr. Nine is on the offensive, and Zoro's just using one sword. As Zoro's just, jabbing at him with just one sword. Where are your acrobatics now? You want to see them so badly? Then take a good look. And it cuts to Mr. Nine, who doesn't realize that Zoro has been directing him to a steep drop-off on the top of this roof, causing Mr. Nine to do a massive backflip right off the roof with no place to safely land. Ah! And then you just see a big thud on the next page as Mr. Nine kind of just crashes to the ground. Isn't there anyone worth fighting around here? You want someone worth fighting? That would be me. Prepare to die, Mr. Bushido. Bushido means the way of the samurai in Japanese. Take a good look at my outfit. And she has, circular swirls all over her outfit. Enchanting vertigo dance! As she starts shifting back and forth, and Zoro actually gets affected by it. He loses his balance. Good boy. And then she pulls on her pinky finger, and she pulls this cord out of this ring, and it has a blade attached to it, and it's a long one. And now for the finale. Peacock Slasher! All right, Karoo. And then it cuts to Karoo going towards Zoro. And then Zoro watches as Karoo completely misses Zoro and goes in a completely different direction. You're going the wrong way! Stop! I'm falling! And then it cuts to Ms. Wednesday going off of the rooftop with Karoo and another individual who falls off the roof. I'm embarrassed to fight these guys. Igorappa! Igorappa! And Zoro, Igorappa! I don't think Zoro looks at spirals. Well, it's not spirals on her outfit. But her dance did kind of make him lose his balance just a little bit. Momentarily. But then we cut back to Igorappa, and he's shooting at Zoro again. Fleeing down a rabbit hole won't save you. And then it cuts to Zoro down in the lower half of the building because he cut a hole into it, all the way down, running. And Igorappa continues. Now I'll give you a taste of real fear. That's one nasty shotgun. What to do? Ta-da! And then Mr. Nine pops up from some rubble he was under, after falling off a roof. That was some trick you pulled, but I'll get you for it. It wasn't my fault you fell. Home run, Hyderbat! And it cuts to Mr. Nine as he extends his bat out, and it shoots out because it has an extendable cord at the end of it. Also, if you guys want to see where I'm reading, go to Viz or a site like Manga Plus to see what I'm reading exactly. But the cord shoots out of the bat, and it wraps around the arm of Zoro. Ha 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 ha! I've got his arm! A steel rope? No! Do it, Mr. 8! Ha 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 ha! We got you now! He's right, as it cuts to Vivi, who's standing with a very long dagger. Try anything stupid, and I'll kill your precious friend. Ha 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 ha! Very good, Miss Wednesday. You can't run away and you can't fight back. And it cuts to Luffy, because he's still fast asleep, and they're threatening to stab him. Fool, at least be awake when you're taken hostage. Prepare to fire! As it cuts to Igarappoi, who stands in front of Zoro, and he doesn't have his saxophone anymore, but gun barrels come out of his curls. Preparations complete. What? And then Igarappoi pulls on his necktie. Here it is. Here it is. I was talking about this earlier. I was looking at Igarappa, and I was thinking, this doesn't look like the attack that I remember when I was younger, when I saw One Piece. But here's the attack I was talking about. Igarapapa and Igarapapa! Because here's the thing. That moment in the anime where I just hear 4 kids, Igarappoi going, Igarapapa! That lives rent-free in my mind. It's always there. Whenever I think of 4 kids, whenever I see Igarappoi, whenever I see him, I always think of that one scene where he goes, Igarapapa! And then his hair guns just go off. That's been in my mind ever since I've seen it. That's a moment I'll never forget. I can't forget it. That's the reason why this appeals to me so much. Igarapapa! And he starts shooting at Zoro with his hair guns. I wonder how come the recoil of the guns don't pull off his hair? Strength of will. What is he, some kind of toy? As he starts pulling on the rope of Mr. 9. And then it cuts. It cuts to Zoro pulling Mr. 9 in the air, which also coincidentally happens to be the path of the shots that Igarappoi fired off. And then all we get is the horrified face of Mr. 9 as he goes sailing directly into this crossfire. And then there's just an explosion from where he's been hit. And then Zoro, still holding on to Mr. 9's rope, he takes it and whips him forward, sending him careening directly into Karoo and Ms. Wednesday. And then they've been bodied. Igarapapa! And then it cuts to Zoro dodging again. Luffy, lend me your belly. And he jumps on Luffy's stomach, and using the elasticity of Luffy's body, what is he? Zoro stares at him, and then using the recoil from Luffy's body, goes careening towards Igarappoi and cuts him instantly up the chest. And he falls over, and then it just shows Zoro standing on top of the roof. All right, it's over. As it cuts to Miss Wednesday, Mr. 9, and Mr. 8 all completely downed by Zoro. And that is the end of Chapter 109. Onwards to Chapter 110, the night isn't over. But before that, we got some SBS. Oda, before I begin the question corner, I want you all to see a letter that I received from a reader who hopes to save this column from a certain group that's been disrupting things. He pleased me very much. Letter. Hello, I have some good news for you, Oda-sensei. Since the SBS takeover gang has been bugging you lately, I'm here to protect you. I'm Richard, leader of the facilitators of the destruction of the SBS takeover gang. We begin our mission on this auspicious day. Yay, yay, hooray! Oda, let's start the question corner. Hey, are you starting it? Question. I've been pondering a serious matter for the last 5 years. Why is it that in manga no one's trousers ever get ripped during the action scenes? And Oda says, if the characters fought naked, wouldn't that be distracting? He does have a point, though. There would be such massive censorship. I mean, there are some countries that won't even, allow some of these types of mangas to be present simply because of the subject matter and even the gags and even comical stuff that happens in manga. Some things that some countries just simply won't allow because of their laws. So not every place can get One Piece. Not every place can get Hellsing. Not every place can get Jujutsu Kaisen or basically any anime where it's incredibly violent. There are certain stipulations that keep certain countries from experiencing something as big and as amazing as One Piece. And that's just one example. So think about how censorship is different from country to country. Because I would love for everybody in the world to read One Piece, but not every country would allow it simply because of its laws. But yeah, it's a good point. If everyone fought naked, it'd be distracting. But then some countries wouldn't even allow it to be published at all. Question! I have a question about Miss Tashigi, who appears in Volume 11. On page 119, she seems really nearsighted, but on page 132, when she looks at the sword, she lifts her glasses. Then on page 161, when she's running, she's not even wearing glasses. So are they just for show or what? Answer. No, they're not just for show. She's a little nearsighted. She can see things up close, but not as well from a distance. That's all, I think. Chapter 110, The Night Isn't Over. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 20. 5 seconds before Garp's announcement. And it cuts to, and it shows Helmeppo and Kobe just kneeled in front of this Garp person. Then we cut to Mr. 13 and Ms. Friday, you know, the otter and the vulture who are watching everything, and they're just sitting there. And they're on the Sapoten graveyard. Sapoten means cactus in Japanese. We're getting the little footnotes and connotations in between the panels.
Hold on! We weren't running away, we just needed to use the restroom!
And then it cuts to the otter and the vulture flying towards these individuals who were clearly running away from everything that was happening in the main town.
Hold it! The town's awfully busy for the middle of the night.
This assignment is a bore. So's this 2-bit outpost.
Hey, who are you? You better start talking!
And then both the vulture and the otter both look surprised at these two individuals who showed up. I'm Mr. 5.
I'm Miss Valentine.
Yeah, I'm Mr. 5. I'm Mr. 5.
I'm Miss Valentine.
And then it cuts to Zoro, who just tossed both Ms. Monday and Mr. 8 off of the roof, and they go crashing down to the ground below. That's the last of them. Phew. Finally, a nice quiet night. And then Zoro gets back to drinking. Huh? Maybe it's just me, but I have a funny feeling. And then it cuts back to Igaraat Boy, who's struggling to get up. No way am I going to die here. I have a special duty to... Oh, the shame. Beaten by a lone swordsman. And it cuts to two individuals who are standing right behind Igaraat Boy. Mr. 5! Miss Valentine! Mr. 5, Baroque Works Officer Agent, and Ms. Valentine, Baroque Works Officer Agent. Mr. 5 is basically this dude. This is Mr. 5 right here, and this is Miss Valentine right there, if you guys wanted to know what they look like. So, yet another brother who's shown up in the story. Mr. 5, Miss Valentine! What are you fooling around for, huh?
What did you expect from someone of his rank?
Did you come to laugh at us? Igaraat Boy says as he's, bleeding from the mouth. No, that's just a bonus.
We're here on official business, of course.
And here we have another signature laugh. The laugh of Miss Valentine. We had Buggy at first, and now we have the laugh of Miss Valentine. Then it cuts to Mr. 9. Ha 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 ha. Glad to hear it. With your help, we can easily take him. And then it cuts to Miss Wednesday.
Yeah, hurry up and finish the swordsman.
And then Mr. 5 just looks, you must be joking. And this shocks all three of the others. Help you. You think we came all the way to the Grand Line to do your dirty work? Oh, wait. Help you.
You think we came all the way to the Grand Line just to do your dirty work?
I know that's not the best laugh for Miss Valentine. And it shows those same individuals. It shows those same individuals who tried to, square up on Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. They're all embedded in the ground. Some with only their head sticking out of the ground. What? Then why are you here? Don't you get it? Why would the boss send the two of us?
The boss's exact words were, "My secret is out."
Of course, I don't know what the secret is. Our organization's motto is mystery. We never reveal the identity of any of our people, and especially not the bosses.
In our investigation, we discovered that agents of a certain monarchy have infiltrated Baroque works.
Ew, what? Hey, wait a minute. I may wear a crown, but I'm no king, I swear.
Not you!
And then it cuts to Ms. Wednesday, and it cuts to Karu as he goes, "Ah!" And then it cuts to Igarapo, who goes, "My cover's blown. I'm finished." Also, is Igarapoi the one? And then it cuts to Zoro as he goes, "Uh-oh, Luffy's still flat on his back." Remember, Luffy is still here in the middle of the square while these Baroque agents are talking to each other. The spy is someone who's gone missing from the kingdom of Alabasta. Die! Igarapapa! I won't let you touch her! And then it cuts to Mr. 5, who's get caught in this explosion from Igarapoi. On my honor as commander of the Royal Guard of the Kingdom of Alabasta. Mr. 8?
Igaram!
Igaram? Run for it, please! Note, Igaram is his true name. Igarapoi is his assumed name. So we have his real name, Igaram, and I can finally say it. Of course, I know who all of these people are, but I can't say their name until it's fully revealed.
Igaram!
Igaram? Run for it, please!
It's no use.
And Miss Valentine is right above Vivi, and then Vivi gets hit in the head by and Miss Wednesday. I said her name. Crap. I said her name. I wasn't even paying attention. That's on me. But Miss Valentine hits Miss Wednesday in the top of the head. I ruined it. Dang it. But continuing on, Miss Valentine jumps away from Miss Wednesday as Miss Wednesday's hair goes down. And then it cuts to Igaram, who gets hit with an explosion.
Igaram!
The enemy agents are Igaram, commander of the Royal Guard of the Kingdom of Alabasta, and the Princess of Alabasta, Nefeltari Vivi. Now I can say Vivi's name. Had I just held it in just a little bit longer. I gotta be more careful. My apologies. Igaram, commander of the Royal Guard of the Kingdom of Alabasta, and the Princess of Alabasta, Nefeltari Vivi. And Mr. 5 holds up a picture of Vivi.
You fiend!
Miss Wednesday, you're a princess?
Cut it out, Mr. 9!
Jeez, what a night. You guys have fun. In the name of the boss of Baroque Works, I shall dispose of you. And Mr. 5 just sticks his finger in his nose.
You wish!
And it cuts to Vivi as she goes towards Mr. 5, and then we cut to Mr. 9, who stands in front of her and goes, I don't know what's going on, but you're my partner. I'll stole them for you.
Mr. 9!
So long, baby. Hot-blooded bat of guts! As it cuts to Mr. 9 doing constant cartwheels towards Mr. 5.
Mr. 9!
Huh. Your only loyalty should be to Baroque Works and the boss. This dude literally pulls a nugget out of his... See? Okay, so... Out of all of the devil fruits that exist, all of the powers that exist, of all the things I've seen, of all the crazy stuff that happens in One Piece, this still is in my head as one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in One Piece. I've seen a ton of things. I've seen numerous devil fruit powers. I've seen numerous people. I've seen the horrific acts that One Piece has done. But this just lives in my head. I wish it didn't. It lives in my head rent-free because of just how nasty it is. It's one thing to see Luffy pull like a nugget out of his nose and stick it in someone's drink, and then Zoro forces him to drink it. I thought that was nasty, but this dude is just pulling it out his nose, and it's like, that's disgusting. It's just so nasty. It's nasty. It's nasty. I don't see how you can do that. Your only loyalty should be to Baroque Works and the boss. Anyone stupid enough to sacrifice himself for a partner deserves to die. And it cuts to him rolling it. Me describing it is disgusting. He's rolling it in between his fingers, and it looks like he's preparing to flick it. Here, I'll give you a taste of my Nez-Palm. Yeah! Cannon! And then he flicks this nugget at Mr. Nine, and Mr. Nine gets sent flying. Whoa, his boogers pack a wallop. Huh? What do you want? As it cuts to Igaram, who's holding on to Zoro. Mr. Bushido, you're strong. Please grant my humble request. Get up. I don't want to hear it. Let go of me. Those two are formidable fighters. There's no way I can defeat them. Please protect the princess for me. Please. And then it cuts to Karoo as Vivi is riding on Karoo. Karoo, run! And then it cuts to Miss Valentine.
She got away.
No, there's no escape. After her, Miss Valentine.
Right, Mr. Five.
Please, escort my princess to Alabasta, a great kingdom in the far east. You shall be rewarded handsomely. I beg you, please, save her. You want some more? As it cuts to Zoro, who's preparing to beat up Igaram.
Just how handsomely are we talking?
Huh?
We'll do it for 1 billion berries.
As it cuts to Nami, who's now awake. Nami? And that is the end of Chapter 110. Onwards to Chapter 111, The Secret Criminal Organization. 1 billion? Me. You must still be tipsy.
Do you really think I get tipsy in a town that welcomes pirates? Give me more credit than that. Did you really think I get tipsy in a town that welcomes pirates? Give me more credit than that.
Me.
That was all an act. I can drink way more than that.
Oh, I see. Me.
Well, will you pay us 1 billion or not, Chief? Because without our help, it looks like your princess is gonna die.
And it cuts to Nami, who's basically extorting Igaram in order to save the princess. But I am but a humble soldier. I cannot possibly guarantee such a sum.
What? Are you saying she isn't worth it? Pay up.
That's blackmail. Well, if you deliver the princess safely to her kingdom and negotiate the fee with her, there should be no problem.
You expect us to save her before we get our money?
They may be killing her highness as we speak.
All right, we'll save your princess first.
Nami was really trying to blackmail Igaram into saving Vivi. Pay us money first. And then we'll save her life. Remember, they're pirates. They're not heroes or anything. They're pirates.
All right, let's go, Zoro.
Are you crazy? Why should I go along with your silly money-making scheme?
You're so stupid. The money's all mine, but the contract obligates the whole crew.
What kind of logic is that?
Come on, all you have to do is swing your sword a little.
I don't like being used.
I'm not like that.
I'm not like that stupid cook.
And then Luffy gets up, and he just starts walking away, body still swollen from all the food. You don't think you can beat them, do you?
What? Say that again!
Nah, nature calls. And Luffy's ready to go to the bathroom. I said you don't think you can beat them.
Stop repeating yourself!
I think you've forgotten something. You owe me.
What? No, I don't.
Remember the 100,000 berries I lent you to buy a sword in Rogue Town?
I paid you back. Anyway, I got that sword for free, so I didn't even need your money.
Yeah, but you promised to pay me 300% interest. You still owe me 300,000 berries. Now, here's the thing. Zoro did not agree to paying her back. He didn't agree to it. Because he says, there's something I want to buy, too. I'll be glad to lend you some money at 300% interest. In Nami's mind, these calculations are correct. I gave back what I borrowed. Isn't that enough? No. Aren't you going to keep your word? If you help me, I'll forgive your debt. My thing is, it's weird how Nami always gets her way.
Yeah, you're gonna pay in the afterlife.
I know, I'm going to blazes. And then it cuts to Igaram as he goes,
We owe you a great debt. If only I were stronger, then I could protect my princess.
It's all right. Zoro's as strong as an ox.
If anything should happen to the princess, our kingdom would crumble. She must live.
Then it cuts to a different part of the town as Karoo is making tracks. They found us! Hurry, Karoo! Ah! There's a boat docked behind Cactus Crag, and it cuts to Mr. Five and Miss Valentine, who are keeping up with Vivi. It's futile. That's Miss Valentine laughing, and Mr. Five saying that. Then someone steps in front of Vivi. Miss Monday! Go on, board the boat. And she's standing there holding like a big massive post. I guess she's preparing to use that to fight on Vivi's behalf. They won't get past here. But, thanks to the swordsman, we'll probably all be executed anyway. And if that's the case, I'd rather die helping a friend. Now go! Thank you. First Mr. Nine, now you, Miss Monday. Yeah! How funny. You are a disgrace, as Mr. Five rushes Miss Monday. Huh? You are a disgrace to Baroque Works! And then Mr. Five clotheslines Ms. Monday, and she gets engulfed in an explosion. And then Vivi sees this, as she's shocked to see Mr. Five do this. Then it cuts to Mr. Five as he goes, I'm human dynamite. I can ignite my entire body. With my boom boom fruit powers, I am unstoppable. As he digs in his nose again. So the thing that he did back in the last chapter, when he was digging in his nose, he flicked a booger at Mr. Nine and it blew up. So basically any part of him can explode, including what he digs in his nose and flicks out. So when he had that Nez Palm cannon, that was an explosive nose nugget. I really don't like saying boogers. I really don't. Because it's such a disgusting word. I really don't like saying it. So when he did that, it was just an extension of his devil fruit powers. It's still one of the I think it's the nastiest. I think it's the nastiest devil fruit that I have ever seen in this entire story. The nastiest. Disgusting. Disgusting. I'm human dynamite. I can ignite my entire body. With my boom boom fruit powers, I am unstoppable. You'll never escape. Nez Palm Cannon! And he flicks another explosive nugget at Vivi. But before this nugget gets close, Zoro comes in and he splits it in half with his sword, and explosions engulf the sides of where Vivi and Zoro are. Mr. Bushido! Hey, the road!
Who is that guy? I sliced your boogers in two! I sliced your boogers in two! And the thing is, Zoro he's upset that he had to cut a booger in half with his sword. I still don't like saying that word. It's just so grody. But the fact that his sword touched something so disgusting, it's all like, I sliced your boogers in two.
Darn it. He's such a nuisance. I don't have time for this now.
And it cuts to Vivi, who's trying to hit Zoro with her peacock slasher, but he stops it, and he goes, not so fast. I'm here to rescue you.
What? Rescue?
And then it cuts to Nami, who's still speaking to Igaram, who's still prone on the ground because, Zoro cut him.
So, just what is Baroque Works?
It's a secret criminal organization. Not a soul in it knows what the boss looks like. It mostly deals in espionage, assassination, theft, and bounty hunting. The boss tells everyone what to do.
You don't even know what he looks like? Then why do you all obey him?
The ultimate goal of Baroque Works is to create a utopia. Those of us who work for Baroque Works have been promised high positions in that utopia.
I see.
His code name is Mr. Zero. The closer your code name is to zero, the higher your position and the more powerful you are. Those with code names below 5 are especially dangerous. Their power is immense.
Whew, that's better. I think I'll go back to sleep.
And it cuts to Luffy, who's just still walking after using the bathroom. Mind you, his body is still swollen. Huh?
What the heck?
And it cuts to... Then it cuts from Luffy going, what the heck? And then it cuts to Zoro facing off against Ms. Valentine and Mr. Five.
So you're the one who's been killing our people.
Huh. Why would a guy like you want to protect the Princess of Alabasta? I have my reasons. Whatever. You're our enemy and you're in our way.
Yeah, you're in the way, and I'm going to use my power to bury you deep in the ground.
Zoro! And it's Luffy who's screaming at Zoro.
Now what?
Luffy, how's it going? Look, you don't have to get involved in this, or do you owe her money too?
I've had it with you! We're gonna fight!
What? And that is the end of chapter 111. We got an SBS, and then we can move on to chapter 12, Luffy versus Zoro. Question. I heard that someone suggested you for the voice of Panda Man. All opposed, please raise your hand and tell us why you're against it, class president. Answer. Oh, that sounds nice. Me, the voice of Panda Man. Sounds good. All right, let's ask Toei Animation about it. Hey, but Panda Man doesn't say anything. Question. In SBS, S stands for Shitsumon. Questions. B for Boshu, solicit. And S for Suru, for. Oh, I forgot my question. And they start laughing. And basically it's like Arlong's a little bit. That laugh, is that Arlong? And then, another question. Cat. Why did I create it? Oh, wait. Cat. Dear Oda-sensei, why did you create the SBS question corner? Answer. Cat? Why did I create it? Lots of manga used to have sections like this. As a reader, I always liked them. So when I became a manga artist, I decided to include a question and answer column. That's why I created it. But cat, huh? Then the final question. Is Hachan a champion takoyaki eater? Takoyaki are octopus fritters. Cat, huh? Oh, what? Taco? And Oda's still on the whole thing that someone drew a cat asking him a question. Chapter 112, Luffy versus Zoro. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 24, I'll deal with these two. As it appears that Garp is going to be dealing with both Helmeppo and Kobe themselves on his own. Then we cut back to Zoro going, what are you talking about? Shut up! I'm gonna pulverize you, you ungrateful jerk! Ungrateful? That's right!
And then it cuts back to Luffy, who's going around, and he sees all the people that Zoro's bodied, but he doesn't know the context. What happened? Who did this? Your partner, the swordsman with the green hair. You're gonna pay for that. The townspeople welcomed us. They fed us. They showered us with kindness, and you went and chopped them up.
Well, yeah, but...
Can he really be that dense? Yes. Yes, Vivi. Yes, he can. And then Mr. 5. Looks like he's the swordsman's friend. What an irritating pair.
Ha! Let's get rid of them. Anyone who interferes with our mission must be eliminated.
Listen, Luffy. These people are all... I don't want to hear your excuses! And hey! As it cuts to Luffy, who rushes Zoro and tries to hit him. And then he hits past Zoro into a building and destroys the wall of the building with his punch. Mind you, Luffy is still full of meat. Like, his whole body's still round and he's still able to move that nimbly. You're really trying to kill me? That's right. Die! Why you? Listen to me! And it cuts to Zoro just dodging away from Luffy, and Luffy is just destroying the area around him, trying to get to Zoro. Hey! That idiot. He's not kidding.
Mr. 5, they seem busy with their own affairs.
I think you're right, Miss Valentine. In that case, let's get on with our mission. And Princess Vivi, and finish Princess Vivi of Alabasta. Let me read that whole sentence again. In that case, let's get on with our mission and finish Princess Vivi of Alabasta. Come, Miss Valentine.
Right, Mr. 5?
Luffy, cut it out! As he kicks Luffy with enough force to send him flying into another building. Luffy, cut it out! And I think he almost hit Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine in the process. That idiot. Yeah, he did. He knocked Luffy into both Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine at the same time. And Vivi can only look on. You may be trying to kill each other, but you keep getting in our way.
Huh, you clumsy fools.
So why don't we do the job for you? And it cuts to Mr. 5 rolling up his sleeve. And he goes, so why don't we do the job for you? How's that? And then it cuts to Luffy, who looks at him and he's burping. And then there's an explosion from the point of where Luffy was, where they all were, as Vivi is surprised.
Oh!
And then it cuts to Miss Valentine as she jumps up in the air.
I've had it. Blast, just die already. Feel the power from my kilo fruit. I only weigh 1 kilogram, light enough to land on the desk.
Oh, she goes,
yeah! Prepare to die. I only weigh 1 kilogram, light enough to land on a cloud of dust.
And 1 kilogram is just over 2 pounds.
However, Mr. Bushido, move! That woman is... Be quiet!
Huh.
However...
I'm busy. And then it cuts to Luffy, who walks out of the building with an unconscious Mr. 5 in his hands. Ah, a little exercise sure speeds up the digestion.
Mr. 5? That's impossible! How could he defeat an officer agent of Baroque Works?
At least Japanese people are normal people. I see what you're getting at, Kohagen, because we in America weigh by pounds, and we don't go by kilograms. I see what you mean. That's another dig. That's another dig. Ah, a little exercise sure speeds up the digestion.
Mr. 5? That's impossible. How could he defeat an officer agent of Baroque Works?
All right. Now let's get down to business. Luffy, calm down and listen to me. These people are all bounty hunters.
Don't ignore me!
Goes Miss Valentine as she's still in the air, floating in the air. There are enemies. Stop lying! They'd have never fed us like that if they were enemies! She's really stupid! What better way than to lure you in than to use food? Stop lying! They'd have never fed us like that if they were enemies! And then it cuts to not Miss Kilograms. Dang it, Cohagen! Miss Kilograms. Miss Valentine going,
Listen to me. I have the power to change my weight at will from 1 to 10,000 kilograms. Feel my 10,000 kilo press.
and then Zoro just moves out of the way. He literally just moves out of the sidesteps Miss Valentine, and she just falls deep into the ground.
Luffy, talking to you is a waste of breath. All right, you idiot. Have it your way. I'll fight for real, but don't come to me when I kill you.
Fine!
What's going on? Aren't they on the same side?
Gum!
Oni!
Bazooka!
Giddy!
And it cuts to them clashing with each other as Luffy's trying to keep Zoro from hitting him, and Zoro's keeping Luffy from hitting him.
Now we'll find out who's superior, the swordsman or the fighter.
Good! Let's settle this right now! And then the whole area erupts from Luffy and Zoro trying to rush each other. And they knock each other away into different sections of different buildings.
What'll I do? I need to escape, but is it safe to go through there?
Because the direction that she needs to get to is in the path of where Luffy and Zoro are fighting. And then they both get up, and both Luffy and Zoro get up, and they both rush towards each other. And they launch at each other again, and they keep clashing against each other. Then it cuts to Miss Valentine and Mr. Five getting up.
Bless, they beat us. We're officer agents of Baroque Works. This is a disgrace.
You're right, Mr. Five. So let's show them our true power.
Come on, Miss Valentine.
Right, Mr. Five.
And then both Zoro and Luffy go,
Shut up. You're interrupting.
Shut up. You're interrupting. And both Mr. Five and Ms. Valentine are stricken with complete fear, and they both immediately stop. Mr. Five's mouth is just held open from fear, and Ms. Valentine is holding on to herself and crying from them both glaring at the both of them, telling them to shut up.
Shut up. You're interrupting our fight!
As Luffy bats away Ms. Valentine, and Zoro cuts away Mr. Five in a big, beautiful double spread panel. And that's the end of the chapter. Luffy and Zoro one-shotting Mr. Five and Ms. Valentine. All because they're interrupting them. We got an SBS, and then we can move on to chapter 113. Question: can you tell me what 21 excellent grade means? And what's this about Yubashiri, Snow Chaser, having a blade with Midareba? What does it all mean, huh? I don't get it. Answer: oh, that. Maybe you don't understand exactly what they are, but if you get the idea that there's something awesome, that's good enough. But let me explain a little about swords. This is Wado Ichimonji, the heirloom sword that Zoro uses. Here are its specifications. Its quality rating is excellent, meaning it's a great masterwork. Its sheath is lacquered wood, painted white. The blade's temper pattern is Sugua, or straight. Side tip here. Japanese swords are classified as Saijo Owazamono, supreme masterwork. Owazamono, excellent masterwork. Ryowazamono, fine masterwork. Wazamono, masterwork. And Futsu no Katana, standard sword. So Wazamono means it's a great sword. 12 supreme grade means that 12 swords of this quality exist in the world. There are basically two types of blades: Sugua, or straight pattern, and Midareba, or wavy pattern. These terms describe the pattern on the blade that is created during the tempering process. There are various types of Midareba as well. So when you look at certain swords in One Piece and they have like a straight edge and then the line where it separates the blade from the black part of the blade, if it's straight, then that's Sugua. If it's wavy, that's Midareba, because of the way it's been done. Chris would love to hear about this type of information because, you know, he's a blacksmith and everything. So he would very much like to hear this. Chapter 113, It's All Right. Hey, the title of the volume. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 25. Kobe and Helmeppo go to Navy headquarters, and they're apparently on Garp's ship. So they're going to the headquarters themselves. But then it cuts to Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine as they're beaten up and bloodied and sent flying in opposite directions because of Luffy and Zoro.
They're so noisy.
Who are those guys? Then it cuts to Vivi, who's just watching all of this.
Incredible. What strength. Who would have thought that men like these could still be found at the start of the Grand Line?
Want to finish this?
Sure. And then both Luffy and Zoro continue to fight each other. But before they can launch another attack on each other, Nami comes in and punches the both of them in the face.
Enough! Huh? Just what do you think you're doing? Well, the girl's okay, that's the main thing. But do you realize you could have cost me 1 billion berries? Do you? What do you mean? Why are you helping me? Oh, well, we have business to discuss. What say we negotiate? Negotiate? Stop fighting!
As it cuts to, because in between Nami, Zoro and Luffy are steadily trying to fight each other, but she knocks them both in the head as she goes,
Stop fighting!
And then Vivi's just watching all of this. And then it cuts to someone laughing, and it's Luffy.
Well, why didn't you say so? I thought you got mad and beat everyone up because they didn't have the dish you wanted.
That's something you would do.
Oh, well, don't be mad. And then Luffy just laughs off the entire thing. He was fighting to kill Zoro, and now that he knows everything, he's all like, water under the bridge now.
That's impossible. That's impossible, but I'm very grateful to you for saving my life. Thank you. But why? You're a princess, aren't you? What's 1 billion berries to you? What do you know about Alabasta? Never heard of it. You see, Alabasta was once the most civilized nation on the Grand Line, and the most peaceful at one time. At one time, goes Nami. The citizens of Alabasta have grown rebellious in recent years. Riots and uprisings have thrown the kingdom into turmoil. Then one day, I learned of a secret organization called Baroque Works. The rumor was the agents of Baroque Works had been stirring up the citizens, but try as I might, I couldn't uncover information that would help us fight these criminals. So I went to Igaram, who has looked after me since I was a child.
The guy with the giant rollers?
I hoped to find the source of the rumors and infiltrate Baroque Works. I could then find out who was pulling the strings and learn his intentions.
You're pretty brave for a princess.
But isn't the goal of Baroque Works to create the ideal country? Then why would... The boss deceives his minions with talk of an ideal country. The true aim of Baroque Works is the conquest of Alabasta. I've got to return to my land and stop the rebellion before my people throw themselves into Baroque Works' clutches. So that's how it is. I'm starting to get the picture. With your country in chaos, there's no room to be made here.
But who's pulling the strings? Goes Luffy.
I can't tell you the boss's identity. What a question! Don't ask me that, I can't tell you! If I did, they'd hunt you down too! That's okay, don't tell us. I mean, if he wants to take over a whole kingdom, he must be a scary guy. He must be one scary guy,
goes Nami.
That he is. You're very strong, but you're no match for Sir Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Boop, boop, boop.
And now they all realize that Vivi just spoiled the name of the head dude in charge. Apparently, he's called Crocodile, and he's one of the 7 warlords, just like Mihawk. And both Luffy's gasping, Nami's gasping with her mouth open wide, and Vivi is holding her mouth closed because she just spoiled the biggest identity out of all of Baroque Works, the name of the boss.
You just told us.
And then it cuts to Mr. 13 and Miss Friday, who have been listening in on this conversation this whole time. And then there's just silence as they all look at these 2 creatures. And then they both look at and then these 2 creatures, the vulture and the otter, look at each other and they just take off.
The bird and the otter! Who are they? I'm sorry!
Heard that? One of the 7 warlords! This could be fun.
Are they going to report that you just told us a secret? Wow!
And Nami is just freaking out.
I'm sorry. It slipped out. Slipped out? Now those creeps will be after us too! We finally reached the Grand Line and we're already wanted by the 7 warlords of the sea. This is too much.
We're lucky. We'll get to meet him soon.
I wonder what he's like, goes Luffy.
You two shut up! It was a brief partnership while it lasted. I'm out of here.
Hey, Nami, where are you going?
He has no idea what I look like. I'm getting away from here.
And then, as Nami's walking away, the otter is directly in front of Nami. And it draws pictures of Luffy, Zoro, and Nami.
Wow, you're good.
And Nami's all like, oh, it's drawing a picture of me. And then both the otter and the vulture take off.
Now there's no way to run! I'm sorry.
Funny, isn't she?
Where were you planning to run to anyway? The 3 of us are on Baroque Works on Baroque Works hit list now.
It's kind of exciting. And then Nami's just sulking because she's just realized that she's just become a massive target, not only because Luffy's got a bounty on his head, but also because Baroque Works is going to be coming after them because they know the secret identity of the boss. So, yeah, that's something.
Me. Everything is under control. I have a plan.
And it's Igaram, who dressed himself up to look like Vivi, although crudely, with holding some dummies in his hands. The dummies' faces are made up of Japanese text. They don't translate to anything, though.
Igaram, why are you dressed like that?
Wow, you look good, mister! Really?
Jeez, they're all insane!
Now listen carefully. Now that you're wanted by Baroque Works, they'll send someone right away, especially since you beat Mr. 5 and his partner. There's something else you should know. Right now, there's no bounty on the boss, even though he's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. But Sir Crocodile once had a bounty of 80 million berries on his head. By the way, about escorting Princess Vivi to Alabasta.
Huh? What are you talking about? Because Luffy wasn't here for that conversation.
He wants us to take her home.
Oh, is that the deal? Okay.
80 million? That's 4 times what Arlong was worth! Turn it down!
Please, Princess, please give me the eternal pose of Alabasta.
Huh? The eternal pose? What's that?
What? You don't know? Simply put, it's a permanent log pose. A normal log pose guides you from one island to the next along the Grand Line. But the eternal pose remembers one location forever. No matter where you go, it will always point to the same island. This is our eternal pose.
And it looks like something you would see an hourglass in, but it has the structure of a log pose inside of its innermost dome.
This is our eternal pose. The magnetic coordinates of Alabasta are recorded in it. Princess Vivi, I've disguised myself as you. I'm going to set out for Alabasta with dummies of these 3. While I divert Baroque Works' attention, you must go with these people on their ship and return to Alabasta by the usual route. I've never gone that way, but Alabasta should be only 2 or 3 log pose stops from here. May we meet again in our homeland.
And mind you, Igaram is still bloodied over his face after everything happened.
Please take care of the princess.
Mister, that outfit really looks great.
On who? Princess, it may be a difficult journey. Please be careful.
You too.
As Vivi shakes Igaram's hand. And then it cuts to Igaram halfway onto the horizon as he sails away. He's gone. That guy was a laugh to the very end.
He may not look it, but he's very reliable.
Princess Vivi, it's up to you to save the kingdom.
And as everyone turns around to walk away, the entire horizon goes up in a massive explosion as where Igaram was headed is engulfed in a massive wall of flames. He didn't even get far. And it's almost as if the whole sea just erupted. And Luffy looks back. Zoro looks back. Nami looks back. Vivi's the only one who's looking at this straightforward.
It can't be. They got him already?
And Vivi's just watching on. And Luffy's already mad. I like that guy!
Nami, how's the log post?
It's all set.
Then bring it. We're setting sail.
Princess Vivi, hurry! If they find us, we're goners!
And then it cuts to Vivi, who's biting her lip, to the point where her lip actually starts to bleed a little.
She's a strong girl. It's all right. We'll get you to Alabasta.
Hey, Luffy, wake the other two. I'm going to the ship.
Those four saved the East Blue all by themselves.
All right, I'll get them. The 7 warlords of the sea? No problem! As it cuts to Usopp and Sanji, who are still sleeping. And that's the end of chapter 113. Onwards to chapter 114. But before that, SBS. What are those glasses that Usopp wears when he fights? They're sniper goggles. At first, Usopp wore regular goggles, but in Rogue Town, he got hold of some brand new North Blue goggles. To the right is a scene that got cut from the start of chapter 98 and volume 2 due to page restrictions. These goggles are like sunglasses that deflect light when Usopp makes his sniper attacks. He really likes them because they flip up and down, and they can go individually as well. Question. Hello, Oda-sensei. I'm confused, so please clarify something. Is that thing you draw on Sanji's chin a goatee or a shadow or what? If it's a goatee, can I shave it? Answer. It's a goatee. And no, you can't shave it. This is the end of SBS. The end! The end! The end! The end! The end! It just echoes off at the end of it. Chapter 114, The Course. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 26. Chores, chores, and more chores at Navy headquarters. As it cuts to Kobe and Helmeppo sweeping and cleaning the floors, while Garp is enjoying himself outside while a couple of birds are just landing around him. And it cuts to Luffy and Sanji as Luffy grabs a hold of them and without even missing a beat, drags them outside at high speeds. Ow! Let's go! What the? Ow! Hey! What are you doing, Luffy? Hey! Let go! Hey, what's going on?
My nose is gonna break off!
And mind you, Luffy is moving at such a speed, he's dragging both Usopp and Sanji, and they can't do anything about it.
My nose is gonna break off!
Hurry, Princess Vivi! And then it cuts to Nami and Vivi running through the streets.
I can't find Karoo.
Ugh. Whew. Hey! Hey! I got him!
Get aboard. We're ready to sail.
Uh-oh. They went back to sleep.
We don't have time to look for that bird.
We don't have time to look for the bird.
And it looks like not when Luffy was dragging both Usopp and Sanji through the streets, they both fell unconscious again, but due to him doing all of that.
We don't have time to look for the bird, but I can't leave him here.
Hey, what's up?
Her duck Karoo is missing. He's supposed to come when she whistles.
You mean him?
Oh! There you are!
He was on board when I got here.
Sail the ship upriver. We can catch the current a little farther up. That'll put us on course faster, at least.
Let's go! Hey, I wonder how many agents they'll send after us.
I don't know. Baroque Works has about 2,000 members, and I've heard that there are other towns like Whisky Peak in these waters. We could have 1,000 of them after us,
goes Nami. You like how Luffy pulls Usopp by the nose? Pulling him by the nose. Full speed. You can't get rid of Luffy's vice-like grip, so you have no choice but to get dragged. You have no choice.
We could have 1,000 of them after us. It's possible they'd send that many to keep the boss's identity a secret.
Then, it cuts to the explosion area where Igaram was supposed to be going, and then there's someone sitting on the capsized ship. And it's someone going,
a decoy. How silly.
Interesting. I wonder who this individual is. And then it cuts to Usopp and Sanji going, "Hey, what's going on? Why'd we sail? Wait, can't we stay one more night? It's a fun town and the girls are really cute."
Yeah, who knows when we'll get to unwind again? Let's relax and have fun. We're pirates after all. It's not even morning yet. Let's go back. Are you listening?
Then it cuts to Zoro as he goes,
Explain things to those guys.
I did.
And then it cuts to Sanji and Usopp, who are just completely passed out. And it cuts to the Mary sailing out of Whiskey Peak.
There's fog ahead. It's almost morning.
And then it cuts to someone going,
There's fog ahead. It's almost morning. Be careful not to run up on the rocks. I'm so glad you managed to escape.
and then it cuts to this individual, the same individual who was sitting on Igaram's ship, who was sitting on Igaram's destroyed ship. This individual is sitting on the Mary right now. What?
Nice ship. Who's that? Who's that? I met your friend Mr. 8 earlier, Miss Wednesday. Did you kill Igaram?
Forget about that. How'd you get on our ship? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here, Miss All Sunday?
Miss All Sunday, Baroque Works Vice President and Supreme Commander. This individual, just sitting up there with a little cowboy hat, is just right there on the Mary.
What? What now? Is she Miss What's-His-Number's partner? She's Mr. Zero's partner. She was the only one who knew the boss's true identity. So we followed her and found out who the boss was. Actually, I let you follow me.
That was nice.
We knew that, but then you told the boss that we'd learn his true identity.
Well, that wasn't nice.
Just what do you want? I'm curious. You seem so earnest I just had to help you. A princess declaring war on Baroque Works to save her country. How pathetic.
And this woman with her incredibly beautiful face just takes everything in stride. May we meet again in our homeland.
Don't underestimate us!
And it cuts to both Sanji and Usopp, who are pointing guns at this individual, with Zoro already preparing his sword and Nami preparing her staff.
Hey, you know what you're doing, right?
Not really, but it looked like my beloved Miss Wednesday was in danger.
Don't point those things at me. It's dangerous.
And then it cuts to both Usopp and Sanji being thrown away by this individual.
What the?
She must have devil fruit. Whoa!
And it cuts to both Sanji and Usopp falling to the ground. We don't see what this individual does. But it causes Sanji and Usopp to get tossed off the railing where she is. I'm amazed that Sanji wasn't simping for her. I'm amazed that the first thing he did was pull a gun on her. I don't remember that.
Huh?
What? She has devil fruit powers?
What kind of power was that?
Hey, she's beautiful! There it is, Kohagen. There it is. It's right there. Instinctively, he got up and pointed a gun to her, but afterwards, now he's simping. That lasted all but one panel. There you go. So much for that, hey, Kohagen?
Hey, she's beautiful! Don't get excited. I'm not on an assignment, so I have no reason to fight you.
That's a record anyway. Yeah, it is a record. And then Luffy's straw hat comes off of his head.
So you're the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, eh?
Ah, is this the first mention of the Straw Hat Pirates by... Wait, no, it's not. It's not the mention of the Straw Hat Pirates by name. But this individual is calling them that. We must give him props. It lasted one panel. And that was at the beginning of the story.
So you're the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, eh? Monkey D. Luffy.
Hey! Give me back my hat! That's picking a fight! You're our enemy! Now get lost! And no, it cuts to Usopp, who's high. Nay, give me back my hat! That's picking a fight! You're our enemy! Now get lost! Usopp says as he's hiding most of his body behind the main sail post, while only his one leg and his arm is outside because, he's a coward.
What rotten luck. You're being hunted by Baroque Works just because you befriended a princess. And you, princess, your only protection is a bunch of pirates. But the worst luck of all is where your log post is sending you. You're headed for a place called Little Garden. I guess we needn't bother killing you after all. you'll never reach Alabasta or see Sir Crocodile's face.
We'll show you. Now give me back my hat. Because this individual has Luffy's hat on her own hat. Like she's wearing a cowboy hat, and she puts Luffy's hat on top of her own. It's like,
nice hat. I think I'll keep it.
We'll show you. Now give me back my hat.
You dumbhead! Anyway, anyone can stand around and yell. But to sail knowingly into mortal danger is just silly,
she says as she just flicks Luffy's hat directly back on his head.
It's the eternal pose,
goes Vivi, and then this individual continues.
You'll be able to bypass difficulty with that. It points to the island of nothing. It points to the island of nothing, which is one stop before Alabasta. It's a route that even our agents don't know about, so no one will follow you. Wait, is she one of the good guys? Why would you give me this?
It's probably a trap.
Who knows? What to do? I don't want her help, but these people are giving me a ride, so I should take the safest route possible.
Who needs that thing? And then Luffy takes the eternal pose, takes it from Vivi, and then crushes it in his hand. He just destroys it. He just takes the eternal pose and destroys it. He just crushes it in his hands. And then Nami immediately kicks him in the face.
Are you crazy? She just gave us an easy route. What if she really was trying to help us?
She's not deciding what course we take.
I see. That's too bad.
Oh, you? I don't like her. She blew up the guy with the rollers.
I don't have a problem with forceful men. We'll meet again if you survive.
I hope not. And then this individual rides on this big old giant sea turtle as she goes,
Let's go, Bunchy.
Wow, a turtle! It's a big one.
I wish I knew what her game was. Well, there's no use worrying about it.
We're used to scheming women around here.
I wonder who he's referring to.
Hey, what's going on? I don't get any of this.
And then it cuts to someone going,
Miss Wednesday, are you really one of us? Hey, I'm confused. Ah, a giant duck! I'm not sure I should be here. I'm putting you all in danger.
What are you saying? Goes Nami.
It's your fault they're after us. If you didn't want to endanger us, you shouldn't have told us the boss's identity.
And then Nami just pokes Vivi in the head.
I said I was sorry. Right, Luffy?
It's morning! Sanji, time for breakfast!
He's not worried.
Okay, the sun's up.
Somebody tell me what's going on!
Let's sail! Miss Wednesday, do you know the woman who was here earlier? And then it cuts to Miss All Sunday. What is it? All Day Sunday? Yes, Miss All Sunday. They don't even call this person Miss All Sunday in the anime. They just call her Miss Sunday. Not even All Sunday, just Miss Sunday.
First stop, Little Garden. That should be interesting.
The next island, Little Garden. And it cuts to a tiger. A very big tiger walking through a forest. And then it cuts to it walking along a set of footprints that are bigger than the tiger itself. And that is the end of chapter 114. And we get chapter 115. We get chapter 115, but we get like a little foot page where Sanji and Usopp, I guess, are getting caught up with everything before chapter 115.
I see. Sorry I missed the action, but I'll have other chances to show my stuff. Never fear, the sleeping knight has awakened and guarantees your safety.
I'm glad I slept through it.
And Usopp is just shaking just from even hearing the story. Nami, do I detect a hint of jealousy?
Nope. Well, you can count on me to help. Rumor has it that the 30 million berry reward on this wanted poster is mostly for me.
Is it gonna snow?
No way.
It's gonna snow. You don't know because you were asleep when it happened before.
Hey, I think it's gonna snow again. And then it's just like Usopp is like picking up Luffy's bounty poster and saying like, this 30 million berries is for me. Not realizing that if it was for him, your name would be on it. Chapter 115, Little Garden of Adventure. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 27. No time for sleep, it's train, train, train. And it cuts to Kobe and Helmeppo training out on a track. Helmeppo's doing some hanging sit-ups while Kobe's running track. How many chapters do we got? Oh, we're almost done. We've got 2 more after 115. We're almost done. And I'm making pretty good time. Chapter 115, Little Garden of Adventure.
It's not that it doesn't snow here, but the ocean back there was different. It was crazy because of the 7 magnetic fields coming from Reverse Mountain.
And this is Vivi saying this. My Usopp voice is on point. It still needs work every now and again.
Still, we can't relax yet. The seas may not be as rough as they were when we started, but they'll definitely be worse than normal oceans. Don't forget the cardinal rule. Never underestimate the Grand Line.
And then it cuts to the entire Straw Hat crew except for Nami enjoying themselves as Sanji creates drinks for everybody. Hey guys, want to try a special drink I made? Yeah! Oh! And everyone raises their fists except for Zoro, who's just laying on the floor, so he lifts his leg in like, fist pump, but it's just with his foot. And then Vivi's trying to be serious. And then she looks at Nami going,
are they supposed to be doing that? Why not? They'll pitch in if there's a blow. They don't want to die either. Have a drink.
And a blow is a storm, is the term used for a storm at sea.
Okay, but I still don't like it.
And then it cuts to Usopp, who goes, wow, this drink's incredible. Like it. Wow, this drink's incredible. Like it? Drink up. Hey, Usopp, make us some fishing gear. Yeah, fishing sounds good. Okay, I'll make us really elegant fishing poles. And then it cuts to Nami, who's drinking as well, going,
don't your cares just melt away on a ship like this?
And then Nami's just looking confused at him.
Yes, it's very... And Vivi says, yes, it's very relaxing.
Hey, look, everybody, a dolphin.
Wow! Oh, how cute.
And then we see the dolphin fly in the air. And then everyone just looks as they notice that this dolphin pretty much eclipses the entire size of the ship. It's huge! Get back! Get back! Aye, aye, Captain. And it cuts to Usopp grabbing onto the sail posts. It cuts to Sanji pulling on some rope. Usopp directing Zoro to do something. Everyone running around. And then it cuts to them just doing things to avoid getting crushed by the dolphin. Then it cuts to Nami.
There's no mistake. After Cactus Island, the next island on our course is that one. There it is.
And it's just like this big, massive island in the distance.
The second island of the Grand Line.
And then it cuts to Vivi.
We've got to be careful. I'm worried about what Miss All Sunday said.
You mean there are monsters?
I don't know. Could be.
We better find provisions since we didn't stock up in Whiskey Peak. Wow, this island's practically uncharted and overgrown.
This is Little Garden.
That's crazy. Who would give a name like that to a place like this? There's nothing little here.
I mean, everything's huge,
goes Nami.
I've never seen plants like these in any book.
And then it cuts to this this creature out in the forest.
Gah! What was that?
Ah, Nami, you're so cute when you're scared. Don't worry, it was just a bird. And this is just a normal village. There's nothing to be afraid of. A lizard? Because it cuts to the giant bird in the sky, but it has super clawed feet, and it has clawed appendages on its wings as well. This is like a prehistoric creature. This is like a prehistoric creature when when more and more lizards started to have more and more feathers. This is like a cross between one of those. I forget its specific animal name, dinosaur name, but it existed. A normal jungle, not village. A normal... Did I say village? Did I say village? Hold on. I did say village. I I had to look at the playback. My bad. Verbal typo. And this is just a normal jungle. There's nothing to be afraid of. Then this big giant creature goes sailing over them. A lizard? And then there's this big boom sound.
Does that sound like a normal jungle? It's more like a volcano blew its top.
Sorry, y'all know me. I mess my words up all the time. I really do. But I'm grateful that you guys are not turned off by it. Thank you. Because a lot of people is all like, stop messing up words or whatever. I've never had that actually said to me, but it cuts to...
It's more like a volcano blew its top.
And then there's some gurring.
Is it a tiger?
And we see a tiger, possibly the same tiger we saw from the last chapter, just fall to the ground, all bloodied and bruised.
There's nothing normal about this place. What kind of monster could attack a tiger like that? They're kings of the jungle.
I say we don't set foot on this island.
Yeah, let's just wait on the ship for the log post to reset. And get the heck away from here.
But we gotta
get to Alabasta fast.
Sanji, I need a lunch. I need a box lunch. A box lunch? Right, a pirate box lunch. Pirate box lunch. A vegetable-free box lunch for quick energy. I smell adventure!
Wait a minute, you! Where do you think you're going?
On an adventure! Wanna come?
It's useless, there's no stopping him. He's too wound up!
Sanji, my lunch! Okay, keep your hat on.
Hey, can I come too?
Goes Vivi.
Yeah, sure! Not you too!
Why not?
I'll just brood if I sit around here. This'll keep me busy while the log post resets. I'll be alright. Karoo will protect me. Ah!
And Karoo's all like, no, I'm not!
That duck scared quackless.
I'll fix you a sweetheart lunch, princess.
Could you give Karoo a drink too?
Yeah, let's go!
See you
when we
see you.
And then it's Luffy and Vivi and Karoo just going into the jungle.
Miss Wednesday sure is brave.
She had to be to infiltrate that gang of crooks.
I've got time to kill too. I think I'll take a walk.
Take a walk?
Zoro, wait! Huh? We're running out of food. If you come across anything that looks edible, bring it back. Will do. I'll back something you could never kill.
Hold it right there!
Huh? Them's fighting words. You think you can bag a bigger beast than I can? Definitely.
I challenge you to a hunt.
Not even a moment has passed, and almost everyone is trying to get off the boat.
And then there were two. Why does it always end up like this?
It's a contest over the most kilos of meat. Why not tons? Sounds good to me.
I know the feeling. Don't cry. I'll be your friend.
And then they're just all alone. And then they gasp.
Huh?
You're useless.
Same to you! Wait a minute.
Huh?
I just remembered. I've read about this before.
About what?
Little garden.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's just walking around in the forest. Here, look at this! It's some kind of squid, an armored one.
Oh. It looks like an ammonite.
That means armored squid, right?
Not this one, not this one.
Hey! And then it cuts to Luffy and Karoo looking at something. And then it cuts to Nami as she's going through her books.
Where is it? I forget. I feel like I just read about it.
And then they, both Luffy and company, look up, as it turns out that they are looking at what looks to be a giant creature in this forest. What's the Neptunian doing here? Dinosaur! Dinosaur? They're on a dinosaur island, apparently. Little Garden is basically Isla Nublar, or Isla Sorna, or Isla Sorna. This is a prehistoric island. Huh? The age of dinosaurs never ended here. Because it's so hard to travel on the Grand Line, the islands here have been isolated, so each one has developed its own unique culture. Some cultures are very advanced, others have stayed unchanged for thousands of years. The unstable climate on the Grand Line makes this possible. This island is still in the dinosaur age. It's stuck in time. And then Vivi looks up in shock as she sees Luffy latching on to this giant long-necked dinosaur. I think it's an Apatosaurus. It's not a Brachiosaurus. It's probably a Brontosaurus, because Brachiosauruses have that big bony crest at the top of their heads.
Get off that thing! Cool! Usopp! Usopp!
What? Did you find the book?
Big trouble! I know what this island is!
And then they see something walk through the forest towards them. And they scream out loud.
Ah!
To its inhabitants, the island truly is a little garden. Therefore, let us call it Little Garden, Land of Giants. Lewis Arnott, Explorer.
And that is the end of chapter 115. Onwards to chapter 116. One more chapter after this, and then we're done. Kobe and Helmeppo's Chronicle of Toil, Volume 28. Day after day, train, train, train. And Kobe and Helmeppo just got lumps all over themselves. Plenty of scars and bandages, well, scratches and bandages, bruises and bandages. And they're fighting against each other. Kobe's using one sword, one training kendo sword, while Helmeppo is using two. And then it cuts to the edge of the island.
What's that? I thought I heard Nami calling me.
And then it cuts to a T-Rex that's behind Sanji, and it bears down on him. But then we immediately cut to Zoro as he's face to face with a Triceratops, and he goes,
What the? Is it edible?
Then it cuts back to the Mary as this creature makes its way towards the Sunny, and both Usopp and Nami can only look on with just tear-filled eyes.
I said, do you have any ale?
Broggy, the giant.
We have a little.
Do you? You have ale?
And then this giant, that's directly, like the dude is massive. He's got like a big old beard, and he's so big that he's kneeling down in front of both Nami and Usopp, but yet he still eclipses their size.
You do? You have ale?
Gah! And then he yells out loud, scaring both Usopp and Nami, and it turns out that a T-Rex is biting behind him.
Huh?
It's a dinosaur!
And then in an instant, Broggy takes his axe and he cuts off the head of it instantly. He cuts off the head of this T-Rex instantly, like the head goes clean off. Both Nami and Usopp are screaming in terror.
Behold the mightiest warrior of Elbaf!
The first mention of Elbaf.
Behold the mightiest warrior of Elbaf! Broggy! Ho 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 ho! I've got meat. Now we feast. You're my guests.
And both Nami and Usopp basically try to play dead.
Play dead!
Play dead. And then Broggy just looks on. He just smiles at him. Yahoo! What a great view! I want to have my lunch up here. Hey, volcanoes! And huge caves. And then it's Vivi with Luffy.
Be careful, it may be gentle, but it's still a dinosaur!
Don't worry, this guy just wants to eat grass. I bet he doesn't even know I'm here. But never mind him. Look at those big caves over there. And then Luffy flips off the head. Luffy flips off the head of this big long-necked dinosaur, and winds up falling into its mouth. Uh-oh.
It ate him!
And then in an instant, this big long-necked dinosaur's head gets cut off by something. Huh? And Luffy, still in the throat of this creature, falls out of the cut-off end. Huh?
Ho 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 ho. Here's a lively human. I haven't had a guest for a while.
Dory, the giant. Wow, you're huge! Are you human?
Ho 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 ho. I am Dory, the mightiest warrior of Elbaf.
It's a giant! I've heard of them, but I never saw one before.
And it cuts to Karoo, who's so passed out that he's foaming at the mouth.
You're all invited to my place.
He's seen us.
The home of Broggy the giant.
Ho 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 ho. There, it's ready. Eat.
I'm not hungry. Look, human bones. I see them.
Don't be shy. Dinosaur meat is good.
He's gonna eat us too. We're not hungry. He obviously wants to fatten us up so that he can have human meat for a change. We're so young. We're probably at the peak of flavor. Mr. Broggy, can I ask you a question?
Huh? What is it, girl?
On this island, how long does it take for a log post to reset?
1 year.
And then both Usopp and Nami fall over.
Well, make yourselves comfortable. Ho 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 ho.
Then it cuts to the home of Dory the giant.
Ho 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 ho. Ha 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 ha.
And it cuts to Luffy, who's laughing with him. Ha 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 ha. This sure is good, Mr. Giant.
Ho 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 ho. Your pirate box lunch wasn't bad either. Not very filling, though.
Of course it's good. I'd knock you down if you didn't like it.
Ho 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 ho. What a funny little feller.
Those two are like old friends.
By the way, mister, how come you live here all alone? Don't you have a village?
Yes, I come from a village. I'm from Elbaf, a village of warriors. It lies elsewhere on the Grand Line. In my village, we lived by a code. When there's a dispute and neither side will yield, the god of Elbaf decides the matter. Our god protects the one who is right and lets him live. I started some trouble, and now I'm on this island, fighting another warrior. Whoever is right will win the battle and live. But we've been at it for 100 years already, and nothing's been settled. Ho 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 ho.
You've been fighting for 100 years?
Ah, that's nothing. Our lifespans are 3 times those of humans. Ho 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 ho.
Even if you do live that long, wouldn't you lose your passion for battle? What's the point anymore? Do you still want to kill each other?
Wow, that mountain's erupting.
Well, I'd better be going.
Huh?
It was decided some time ago that the eruption of Dead Center Mountain would be the signal for combat.
A hatred that makes you hack at each other for 100 years? That's insane! What was the dispute about in the first place?
And then it cuts to Luffy, who stretches back and covers Vivi's mouth and goes, "Quiet, that doesn't matter. Quiet, that doesn't matter."
That's right. This is a matter of honor.
And another individual walks up to Dory. And it's Broggy.
The reason we fight is long forgotten.
And both Dory and Broggy start clashing with one another. And then Luffy just falls back.
Huh? What's wrong?
Too much. Too big. And that is the end of chapter 116. Onwards to the last chapter, chapter 117, Dory and Broggy. Kukor Island, the Grand Line.
Mr. 3?
What is it? Wait a minute. You can't beat Earl Grey.
I don't have anything to do, Mr. 3.
You complain of boredom, yet you hate to work.
No, I don't.
Try to enjoy these moments of peace between assignments. Only we officer agents get to go on these luxury vacations. And stop calling me by my code name in public. You'll give away my secret identity. Mr. 3, officer agent of Baroque Works. And he's a bespectacled individual wearing a striped shirt, a striped vest, with his hair styled in a way for it to be a 3.
I will.
You'll give away my secret identity.
I will.
Miss Goldenweek, officer agent of Baroque Works. By the way, you've been staring at that piece of paper for days now. What is it?
Orders from the boss.
Why didn't you tell me?
It says Mr. 5 has been killed. Huh. They should have done in Mr. 2 as well.
They should have done in Mr. 2 as well.
Then you'll be promoted, won't you?
There's no reason to mourn Mr. 5. He was an overambitious fool who didn't realize his own limitations. It takes hard work to possess the powers of evil. An overachiever who misuses them is just pathetic. In the end, the superior criminal's greatest weapon is his brain. They'll soon know the price of defying the organization. And it cuts away from Mr. 3 and Miss Goldenweek as we go back to the fight between Dory and Broggy.
Don't you wish we could go home, Dory? All the more reason to vanquish you, Broggy, my friend.
And they both clash against one another.
Yeah!
And Dory, airborne, hits his axe towards, and Broggy hits his axe towards Dory, but Dory blocks it with his helmet.
He blocked that, a huge axe with his helmet. The smallest blunder would mean instant death. What a battle. They attack with single blows to a vital spot. And they've been at this for 100 years,
Goes Nami, as this fight continues.
Now's our chance. We can get away. Come on, Usopp. Incredible. Usopp?
What was our quarrel about? I can't remember. Ha 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 ha!
They're fighting like this and they don't know why. This fight's a pain.
What do you know? What do you know? This is a battle between real men.
I don't get it. It's like each of them have a flag on their chest that says warrior, and those flags mean more to them than their very lives. They refuse to let them be torn off. That's why they've been fighting for 100 years, to protect their flags. Don't you get it? This is a glorious battle to the death between true warriors. I don't care about that stupid warrior stuff. Come on, I'm getting away. I'm gonna watch a while longer. This is it. This is my goal. To be a brave warrior of the sea. I want to be a man of honor like these guys.
And then it cuts to Nami, who stops and sits right next to Usopp.
So you want to be a giant?
Didn't you hear a word I said?
If there's a whole village of warriors like them, someday I'd like to go there.
Right in chapter 117. That's when he said he wanted to go to Elbaf. That's when he said it. I now know. It's so good going through these moments to know when he said these certain things.
If there's a whole village of warriors like them, someday I'd like to go there.
And then it cuts to Dory and Broggy as they continue fighting, narrowly missing each other. And they throw their weapons aside, like Dory's sword gets embedded into the mountain behind Broggy, and Broggy throws his axe and it goes sailing in a distance behind him. So Dory and Broggy just resort to their fists, and they wind up hitting each other in the face with both of their shields.
73,466 battles. 73,466 draws. I guess.
And both of them just fall over.
Ha 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 ha! Hi, Dory, old friend. Hey, I got some mail from my guests. That's great. I haven't had any in a long time. Give me some. Ho 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 ho!
And the both of them are just laughing this all off.
I see. So Broggy's guests are your friends. There was one with a long nose and a woman.
That's Usopp and Nami. Those dummies, they said they weren't going to leave the ship. I guess they wanted adventure after all. They forgot for what they were fighting, but not how many battles. Yeah, exactly. Ain't that funny? They don't remember why they're fighting, but they remember how many times they've been fighting. They can remember the exact number over the 100 years they've been fighting. They know the exact number of how many times they fought each other, but over those years, they completely forgotten what the fight was even about. Those dummies, they said they weren't going to leave the ship. I guess they wanted some adventure after all.
Then this is your ale.
By the way, Mr. Dory.
Pardon me.
By the way, Mr. Dory, you said it would take the log post a year to reset. Is that true?
The skulls of little humans like yourselves are scattered around here. Didn't you see them? Little people who come to this island usually die before their log posts reset. Some become dinosaur food. Others die of heat or hunger. Some die because they attack us. But they all die. A year on this island is more than puny humans can endure.
And then Vivi again.
What'll I do? Even if we manage to survive for a year, what would become of my kingdom?
Oh yeah, and besides, we get bored. Isn't there a faster way, old man?
Perhaps with the eternal pose, but it's set to our homeland, Elbaf. Actually, we're fighting over it right now. Would you like to try taking it by force?
That's no good. We don't want to go to Elbaf. We just want to get to the next island, right?
That's right. If we stray from the course to Alabasta, who knows where we'd end up?
I see.
Oh. Luffy just goes, see?
Ho 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 ho! You could just go on your way. With a little luck, you might get there.
And then both Luffy and Dory are laughing. Maybe we should. We might get there.
Ho ho ho! You sure are a funny little human.
Hey, goes Vivi, because she's like kind of distraught at the situation.
A brave warrior of the sea? What's that?
That's what you guys are. Someday I want to be just like you.
As we cut back to Broggy as he's talking to Nami and Usopp.
A giant?
No! I want to be like the warriors of Elbaf. I want honor and glory.
Ha ha ha! Is that so? You see, because our lives are longer than yours, our desire to die with honor is greater too. Material things, even life, all fade in the end. But as warriors of Elbaf, if we can die with honor, our deaths can be glorious.
No, this is the voice that I had for Roger. I need to go back to what I was doing before. This is the voices that I was using for Roger.
But as warriors of Elbaf, if we can die with honor, our deaths can be glorious. And that honor will be the eternal treasure of our homeland.
So, honor is a treasure too.
And then all of a sudden, Dory gets hit in the face by an explosion of some kind.
The ale blew up!
Wow, so the drink that Dory had in his mouth, the ale, it exploded.
The ale blew up! Ah!
And then Dory just starts to fall backwards, him bleeding from the mouth and his eyes almost going up in his head.
Mr. Giant! Mr. Dory!
What happened? Why did the ale explode? That didn't come from our ship, did it?
It exploded in his stomach. What a cruel trick.
You don't think the other giant put explosives in the ale, do you?
Weren't you paying attention? Nobody who fights 100 years for honor would pull a dirty trick like that.
Oh wait, this was Vivi who's saying,
it exploded in his stomach. What a cruel trick. You don't think the other giant put explosives in the ale, do you?
Weren't you paying attention? Nobody who fights 100 years for honor would pull a dirty trick like that. And then Dory gets up. Dory gets up and goes,
Then who are the deceivers? It wasn't Broggy. We are proud warriors of Elbaf. Who could have done it but you?
Let's run for it. It's useless to argue.
I bet it's useless to run, too. Hold this for a minute. And then Luffy gives Vivi his hat. Stand back, as Dory gets up with his sword in hand.
Are you insane? Are you going to fight? You're no match for him.
Sorry, mister, but I'm gonna shut you up. And then Luffy braces himself and cracks his knuckles as we come to the end of Volume 13 of One Piece. We'll continue this tomorrow. With Volume 14. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say that I am so prepared to go deeper and deeper with One Piece, like I said, I'm only going until I get to Volume 82, up to Volume 82. Volume 82 will be the last one that I read, because the rest will be from my reactions I've done from 828. It's odd. It is so undeniably coincidental that the very first chapter... Hold on, let me say this first. Thank you for watching everything that I've done. Well, actually, let me say what I'm going to say. I'll do my outro later. But it must have been... It had to have been God to have arranged it so that when I did my first reaction to One Piece, I started on the very first chapter of Volume 83. That later on, years on, because I did my first reaction to One Piece in 2016. All those years later, like 7 years later, how did I know that I would eventually do this read-through of One Piece, and I would be able to do it perfectly, where I can go from Volume 1 all the way to Volume 82, and not be all like, oh, well, I just need to do a couple chapters from this volume because I started in the middle of a volume. It's weirdly coincidental how it's gotten to that point where I can actually do that. And I can start perfectly when Volume 83 starts. That's where I can cut it off. It kind of reminds me of how I did my Demon Slayer read-through, and I ended my series on the day the final volume was published in the US. So it's like, ain't nobody but God. Ain't nobody but God. It's amazing. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to grandstand any longer than I already have, because I got to prepare for Tears of the Kingdom later on after I had some lunch. If I eat my lunch sooner, then expect the stream to be up sooner, because I don't expect me to be waiting too long in order to eat. So I could probably get started possibly at 3, possibly sooner than that. But everyone, we're done with Volume 13 of One Piece. I am looking forward to the next one tomorrow. Same One Piece time, same One Piece channel. So to everyone here, all I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier as we go towards 100,000 subscribers. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.